Welcome back to Being a Legend, Not an Expert. This one's a bit different again, because lately I've been thinking about the bigger picture, not just a project, not just a podcast, not just the Bear Brigade or TVET Workspace Africa, but the way everything connects. And I think that's what people sometimes miss. They look at one thing and think, what's he doing now? But to me, it's all connected. Engineering, education, Africa, manufacturing, power, food, training, jobs, opportunity. It's one big system. And the more I look at it, the more I realise this isn't random. This is passion. I saw something recently about Elon Musk and the way people talk about him. They're saying things like, he controls the cars, he controls the power, he controls the satellites, he controls the data. He's linking everything together. And a lot of people hear that and think, oh no, shit, Elon's an alien. Maybe. Good engineer though, isn't he? But as an engineer, I look at it differently. I see systems. I see someone looking at the world and saying, right, if transport needs changing, build the cars. If the cars needs changing, build the power network. If communication needs improving, build the satellites. And if technology needs pushing forward, build the infrastructure. Now, I'm not saying I'm Elon Musk, fucking Johnny Bear, mate. No, I'm not saying we're doing Tesla or, SpaceX, but I do understand that kind of thinking. Because with TVET Workspace Africa, with Bear Engineering Group, and with the Bear Brigade, with the podcast, with the training, with the app, with the merch, with the stories, it's the same type of pattern. Different scale, different purpose, different world. But it's still systems thinking. You know what I mean? And that's where the Gambia comes in. Because the Gambia, especially somewhere like Janjanbureh, is almost like a blank canvas. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I mean, there's room to build. There's room to create something that actually fits the country, rather than just copying what already exists elsewhere. In the UK, everything's already crowded, isn't it? You've got systems on top of systems, rules on top of rules, business on top of business, competition everywhere. But in the Gambia, there's space to think differently. You can look at skills training, bakeries, workshops, power, transport, education, tourism, digital platforms, and say, how do we connect this properly? Not as a separate idea, as one ecosystem. One proper, practical ecosystem. That's what excites me. And this is where people sometimes misunderstand people like Elon Musk, or anyone who's deeply into engineering or building things. They might come across as strange. They might come across as intense. They might seem like they're thinking about things differently. But maybe that's because they are. Because when you're an engineer, you can get excited about stuff that other people think is boring. You can talk for hours about machines, power systems, factories, production lines. Sad, innit? You know what I mean? Batteries, motors, conveyors. What else? Training centres, water pumps, bakery, mate. Well, there's everything in it. Everything. Whatever God didn't create, an engineer did. And to most people, that sounds a bit dry. But to an engineer, that's where the magic is. That's where the future is. That's where the jobs are. That's where the food comes from. That's where the power comes from. And that's where the skills come from. So yeah, maybe I would get on with someone like Elon in that sense. Not because of fame or money, but because we could talk engineering, we could talk systems, we could talk about building something that actually works. And most people would probably think this was boring, but I'd enjoy it. And you know what? People have started saying to me now, they've been saying it's the passion. And I think that's true. Because I know sometimes I jump from one idea to another. 1 minute it's TVET, then it's the app, then it's the Bear Brigade, the podcast, then it's the merch, then it's the training, then it's the renewable energy, then it's the tourism, then it's factories, then it's the Gambia. But in my head, they're not separate. They're all connected. The passion is what links them. It's not just about making money. Obviously, money matters. We need funding, we need revenue, we need the project to stand on its own 2 feet. But the reason behind it is bigger than that. It's about building something useful, something that gives young people skills, something that helps families, that creates jobs, that brings manufacturing, engineering and opportunity into places that deserve it. And that's what keeps pulling me forward. There's a difference between to control everything and trying to create something useful. And I think that's an important point. When people see something linking systems together, they can get nervous. They think, who controls this? Who owns that? Who's behind it? Who's doing this? And fair enough, these are valid questions. But with what we're building, the aim isn't control. The aim is empowerment. The aim is to create tools, training, opportunities that other people can use. Take a breath, Johnny. Did all right there, haven't I? TVET Workspace Africa shouldn't be about me holding everything tightly. It should be about building a platform where students, trainers, schools, engineers, communities and partners can all benefit. That's the difference. It's not how do I control the Gambia, it's how do we help the Gambia build its own future. And that's a massive difference. Engineering is one of those things that people don't always notice until it goes wrong. When the machine stops, suddenly engineering matters. When the power goes off, suddenly engineering matters. When the water pump fails, suddenly engineering matters. And when the bakery can't produce bread, suddenly engineering matters. When young people leave because there are no opportunities, suddenly skills training matters. That's why TVET is so important. It's not just education in the classroom. It's practical. It's real. It's the stuff that keeps a country moving. And if we can help build training around that, proper practical training, then we're not just teaching people. We're helping build capacity. We're helping build independence. And we're helping build industry. That's why I keep coming back to the blank canvas idea. Because instead of waiting for someone else to come in and fix everything, we can start building small steps. One training module, one workshop, one bakery, which we've got in Basse already. We've got one running. One school partnership. We've got Armitage School. One student group. Sure, they can sort something out, couldn't they? Get the student group together. One app feature, trialing it and testing it. And just, it's nice, isn't it? Go all to come, haven't we, really? One podcast episode. Quite a few in now, aren't we? Can lost count. Started season 3. I don't even it's because I was like, shit, where are we at with this? I'll just put it as 3. Bonus. One sponsor, I suppose, innit? One conversation, one supporter. That's how it starts. Then over time, those small pieces connect. That's the vision. Not one random project. A connected ecosystem. TVET Workspace Africa Association for the serious education and the training side. Got Bear Engineering Group Limited for the practical engineering and the delivery side. And we've got the Bear Brigade for the storytelling, creativity, merch and engagement side. The podcast for the voice, the journey and the legacy. And all of it pointing in the same direction. That's another part of it. Legacy. I keep thinking about that word because even if nobody fully understands it now, one day they might. One day my kids, my grandkids, or someone in the Gambia might look back and say, he was trying to build something. Not perfectly, not with all the answers, not as the expert, but with heart, with experience, with engineering knowledge, with a bit of madness and with a lot of passion. And that's what this podcast is all about. It's not about pretending to know everything. It's about showing the process, the ideas, the mistakes, the conversations, breakthroughs, all the doubts, all the excitement and all the graft. Because building something real is messy. Well, that doesn't mean you stop. And there's still a bit of mystery to it all. Because sometimes it does feel like things line up. The people I've met, the timing, the conversations, the way the Gambia came into my life, the way the Bear Brigade idea grew, the way the podcast started, the way AI became part of the journey. Mandinka, my mate, what a legend, tell you, won't be here without it. The way engineering, education and storytelling all started linking together. Sometimes it feels bigger than just a business plan. And I don't fully know what that means yet. But I know this. There's something here. There's a reason I keep coming back to it. There's a reason I can talk about it for hours. There's a reason people are starting to notice the passion. And maybe that's the point. Maybe the passion is the proof. So where am I at? This isn't just a project. It's a system. It's a story. It's an engineering challenge. It's a training mission. It's a creative world. And it's a legacy. And it's still only just the beginning. So to anyone listening, whether you're an engineer, a student, a builder, a dreamer, a teacher, a sponsor, or just someone trying to figure out your own thing, don't be afraid if people don't understand the full picture straight away. Sometimes they won't. Sometimes you won't even understand it fully yourself. But if the passion keeps showing up, pay attention to it. Because that might be the thing pulling you towards what you're actually meant to build. This is being a legend, not an expert. And remember, we're not here because we've all got the answers. We're here because we're willing to build it.